Hi, beautiful people. Welcome to my channel. My name is Georgia. If you're new, welcome, welcome. So, breaking news. I don't know what's going on in my city, but we're going to try and find out together. Breaking news. The mayor of New York City has been indicted. Still don't know what the charges are because they're sealed. I am coming here as things are unfolding, and I am searching the internet to see what I find. And so far, the New York Post is the only one that's really giving any information. The others are reporting, but of course, like I am, they're still not sure what's going on. Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted. He is the first sitting mayor to have an indictment on him. For the past few weeks, or since July, I should say, like people around him has been either getting their phone seized, getting their houses searched, getting questioned by the federal government. It's just like everyone in his administration, not everyone, but most of the people in his administration, especially the ones that are closely work with him, have been questioned by the federal government. And we're getting bits and pieces from the news. And like I said, we've been watching it, and we're like, okay, the discussion in the family is that with so many people getting called in, so many people getting their phones taken, eventually something is going to happen to him. So late last night, came across my phone. You know, you get your notifications on your phone. The mayor of New York City has been indicted, and I think he came out and made a statement. He says he has done nothing wrong, that he's being targeted, and he's ready for a quick trial or whatever, or for them to question him, and then move forward and get ready for the mayoral election for 2025. So he's saying he has done nothing wrong, and he's been saying that all along. But as the mayor, you know, you're the top, you're up there, you're supposed to be the head of everything. Everybody around you is getting questioned. Everybody around you is getting in trouble. And you don't know. You're supposed to know what's going on as the boss. You know, that's how it is like in big corporations. You can't say you don't know what's happening in your company. And this is how you have to look at it. Even though it's the public sector, you have to know what's going on. I am not passing judgment. He could be right. He's been saying it for a long time. And the reason he's being targeted, he said, is because he was very vocal about not getting any help for when we have the migrant crisis in all of the states. You know, he was the one who tell everybody, come, we have room for you. But he didn't think that so many people would show up. And there is a lot of people here in New York. And he was asking for help from the governor, from the White House. And he was saying he wasn't getting any help. And of course, you could see the tension between he and Governor Hochul. They do not see eye to eye. I think one of the she did try to help him out after he kept screaming, help me, help me, help me. And I believe some of the migrants were put at Floyd Bennett Field, that's close by me. And some of them were put on Randall's Island. And the conditions weren't good, so he was getting criticized for the way things were. But he said he was trying to do his best to help out as much as he can. He wasn't getting any help. And finally, they gave him some help by allowing him to use some space at Floyd Bennett Field. I think they put up tents because there's no buildings really over there. I think it's an old airport. So they put up tents to help them. And it seems to be working out. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to read the blind reaction right now. I'm going to read an article from the New York Post. And as we read, I'll give my comments, you know, as we go through. So it's now Thursday morning around 10:30. And there's some stuff happening with it. So we're getting live updates as they happen. But this is the headline. It says, Eric Adams becomes first sitting New York City mayor indicted in history. Federal probe claims feds persecuting him over migrant crisis. Or just like I told you, that's what he claims. So it says, Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted by a grand jury on charges connected to the federal probe, sources told the New York Post. As the defiant chief executive claimed, he was being persecuted by the federal government for speaking out about the city's migrant crisis. The historic indictment, the first for a sitting New York City mayor, is expected to be unsealed Thursday by U.S. Attorney Damian Williams, according to the sources. The news was first reported by the New York Times. So at this time, it has not been unsealed. Damian Williams has not come on and given any kind of statement. So as soon as I get that, then I'll probably do another video recording that. But it says Adams will surrender to authorities early next week. So today's Thursday, early next week, Monday, Tuesday. So details about the exact accusations remain unclear, but they are believed to be connected to allegations of the Turkish government illegally funneling money into his mayoral campaign in exchange for approval of the Turkish consulate in Manhattan, according to sources. Oh, so that's what they're saying, that he took money for favors, for business favors. I fund your campaign. I get everything I want from New York City. All right. So it's involving the Turkish government. Sources say the mayor is facing a charge of acting as an unregistered foreign agent after accepting donation from foreign entities. Now, he could say he didn't even know that those were coming to him, because one of the first people that the federal government looked at was his campaign fund manager, a young lady, I believe her name is Brianna Shuggs. And they raided her house first, and then from there they did other people. So maybe he really didn't know where the money was coming from. But like I said, if you're the top of the chain, you're supposed to know what's going on in your organization. So him saying I didn't know is not good enough. Continuing to read. He says, I always knew that if I stood my ground for New Yorkers, that I would be a target. And a target I became, Adams said in a statement to the Post. If I am charged, I am innocent, and I will fight this with every ounce of my strength and spirit. In a video statement released later, Adams said he wouldn't step down and pledged to fight these injustices with every ounce of his strength and spirit. He could say that now, but if the New Yorkers call for him to step down, then, because it's going to affect the way you govern, then, you're going to have to. At this point, I don't know if he does step down, who's going to take over, because his deputy mayor was also under investigation. So I'm not exactly sure who's below her. And we'll see. I believe it's Jamani Williams. Forget what his title is, but I think he's below the deputy mayor, but I think he's the one who's going to have to step in. All right, continuing to read. She said, I will request an immediate trial so that New Yorkers can hear the truth. New Yorkers know my story. They know where I came from. I have been fighting injustice my entire life. If you guys don't know, Mayor Adams he started out as a police officer, and then he worked his way up in the public sector. The fight has continued as your mayor. Despite our pleas, when the federal government did nothing, as its broken immigration policies overloaded our shelter system with no relief, I put the people of New York before party and politics. A rep for the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York, which is prosecuting the case, declined a comment. Sources told the Post that two others, Adams' top campaign fundraiser, Brianna Snuggs, like I told you about, and his director of Asian Affairs, Winnie Greco, are expected to be named in the indictment. At least 3 others are also expected to be charged, though the Post could not immediately confirm their identities. Following news of the indictment, cops set up barriers outside Gracie Mansion, the mayor's home, and forced reporters back from the house. At about 11:50 p.m., Adams' ex-chief of staff, Frank Carone, emerged from the property When asked by reporters whether Adams was distracted by the legal trouble, Carone replied, "Not at all." Then, about a half an hour later, 3 black SUVs were seen leaving the mansion with their emergency lights flashing. It's uncertain how the indictment is related to a sweeping set of September 4th raids that targeted several high-profile Adams administration officials, which sent City Hall into weeks-long tailspin as news reports emerged of investigations focused on alleged corruption among the mayor's inner circle. By Wednesday morning, word was spread that the senior City Hall officials soon would be indicted, sending staff into a panic throughout the day. Oh, so they knew earlier in the day, but we found out late at night. The indictment's unveiling will come after federal prosecutors recently demanded City Hall cough up all communications between the Adams administration, Turkey, and 5 other foreign countries among the long-running probe. And I think I saw somewhere this morning where his Mayor Adams' phone was confiscated. So again, I think this is his 3rd time they're taking his phone. Adams' 2021 campaign had previously been served with subpoenas for information on its campaign donation, specifically those that had ties to Turkey, sources told the Post. Sprawling records requests that came in a July batch of subpoenas seeking details on all interactions between admin officials in Israel, China, Qatar, South Korea, and Uzbekistan, the sources added. Adams City Hall and his election committee were also hit with grand jury subpoenas the same month when the feds obtaining text messages, documents, and other communications and materials. Adams has been a vocal critic of the Biden administration's soft immigration policies, as the Big Apple was flooded with more than 250 migrants since 2022, accusing the federal government of leaving New York to fend for itself. Mayor Adams, maybe if you didn't say come one, come all, we wouldn't be so heavy. Because once he said come one, come all, busloads of people came in from Texas and Arizona. Continuing to read. The national government has turned its back on New York City, he said in early 2023. He also said the White House needed to appoint a person who would be dedicated to a decompression strategy at the border. The migrant crisis is expected to cost the city upwards of $12 billion by 2026. And Adams has repeatedly pleaded for Washington to provide more funds to Gotham. I am lost. I am confused on the topic of why we still, almost 20 months later, we're still talking about this issue, and it has inundated the city, Adams told Fox 5 in December 2025. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York has remained tight-lipped about the probe ever since it burst into view last November with a dramatic raid on top Adams fundraiser Brianna Suggs' Brooklyn home. The raid, which sought evidence of straw donor kickbacks by the Turkish government and the Williamsburg-based construction company KSK Construction Group into Adams' mayoral campaign, prompted his owner to scurry back from his honor. What I said like that? His honor to scurry back from a much publicized White House meeting on the migrant crisis. Yes, the day that they raided her house, he was on his way. It was an event at the White House. I believe all the mayors had to come be at the White House, and on his way there, Brianna Suggs' house was raided, and he had to just turn back around and come back. I guess he had to be there for whatever. The feds subsequently raided the homes of City Hall staffer Renee Abbasova and Cenk Okol, a former Turkish Airlines executive who worked on Adams' transition team. Okay. A former Turkish airline executive who works on Adams' transition team. I just lost my lighting. Okay, we'll just work with whatever we have left. A week later, Adams had his own phones and iPads seized by FBI agents on the streets of Manhattan. They always get you when you don't expect. They don't come to your office or your home. They get you when you're out and about. Meanwhile, another aide, Winnie Greco, had her Bronx home raided by FBI agents in February, though it wasn't clear at the time whether it was tied to the Turkish probe. His Honor has long denied any wrongdoing. It takes a great deal of discipline to not say something when you know you have done nothing wrong, Adams said in August when asked about the mayoral campaign investigation. Yes, he's always, every week, here's something, he's on the news saying, I'm innocent, I'm innocent, I'm innocent. The indictment marks the first time in New York City history a mayor has faced charges in 170 years, according to historical research done by the city. All recent mayors from David Dinkins, and remember, Mayor Adams is the second African-American mayor. Mayor David Dinkins was the first. All recent mayors from David Dinkins to Bill de Blasio have forced some type of corruption investigation, but all those probes ended with, at worst, lower-level aides being slapped with charges. Former Mayor Jimmy Walker famously resigned in 1932, getting some history lesson here, while the investigation, but he was never charged. The bombshell indictment will come amid a spate of other federal investigations targeting City Hall and Big Apple officials that came to light in a stunning series of raids on His Honor's top lieutenants, closest political allies, and most trusted aides of late. Yes, a lot of people have been calling. Federal prosecutors in Manhattan are behind many of the probes, but like the mayoral campaign investigation, have remained tight-lipped about the aims, potential charges, and how the probes might entwine. Not one to date has been charged or accused of any wrongdoing in any other investigation. And that is it. That's what the New York Post have to say. Like I said, this is breaking. We're still learning new things as we go on. I told you at the top of the video that there are a ton of people who are on the investigation. So far, we've had the police commissioner resigned, and there's stuff that I'm saying. Some things are alleged. The police commissioner has resigned. He has a twin brother, who is under investigation for corruption as far as shaking people down, allegedly. Shaking businesses down. Listen, if you want to be protected, you got to give me money. This sounds like some organized crime. Like, really. Who else? The school chancellor yesterday. We know that he's under investigation. He and his girlfriend, who is the deputy mayor of New York City, on the investigation. I think their phones were taken. Yesterday, the school chancellor said, I've been working this job for 40 years. I'm tired. I'm resigning in January. And people are saying, why are you resigning in the middle of the school year? Because remember, the school year is from September to May, June, or whatever. He's resigning in January. I already spoke about the police commissioner and Brianna Snuggs, his top campaign fund manager. Her house was raided, and now it's saying that she's going to be indicted. But there's more to come. There were two others. There was something about another person on his staff who is in ties with China, allegedly saying that her and her husband living in the laps of luxury, and there's some ties to China. So there is a lot more to come. And we were all saying, like I said in my family, that Mayor Adams, the wall around him is crumbling, and eventually they're gonna come and get him. So that's where we are with it. I don't know if we'll ever know the full story, but he said he wants to get through this. He's clean. Leave me alone. Yes, it may look like I'm in it, but I'm not in it. And he wants to get through this so he could get ready for his next mayoral campaign. But with all of that happening, I mean, the trust is broken by now. People were saying that he really wasn't doing his job because they call him the influencer mayor because of the fact that he's hanging out in clubs and going to certain parties where he shouldn't be. He's been linked to Diddy, but I don't know if it's in that way. And as you guys know, Diddy is, you know, we're not even going to get into him. He needs to be put under the jail based on everything that we see coming out. And he's talking about he's not guilty. Where I digress, we're talking about the mayor. And as I get more information, if Damian Williams do come on here and let us know what the indictment is about, I will come and do another video. But at this point, New York City is going through it. My city is going through it. But if this is what it takes to make sure that people are held accountable, and that you know, you run the city with a bit of ethics, then this is what it takes. But Mayor Adam is saying he is not guilty. He is innocent of everything, that he is being targeted because he's asking for help from the federal government, and Governor Hochul wasn't helping him, and the White House wasn't helping him with the migrant crisis. And he needs help, but he did the best he could with the migrants. I mean, yes, there were people criticizing that people were living in deplorable conditions. They were saying that, you know, when it rained, certain parts of these tent cities were getting flooded and stuff. But he did the best he could without the help that he had. So I hope all of this blows over for him. I'm sorry to say, I hope all of this blows over for him, because he's our mayor and we're supposed to be able to help him. I don't know if all these people who are getting ready to throw their hat in the ring for the next mayoral race want to actually come forward and do it, because as soon as they step in there, they go on the investigation. And if you have like a little blemish on your record, they are coming for you. But you're supposed to be squeaky clean when you're in positions like this. So I thank you for watching this video. Sorry about the lighting. Let me go charge my little, let me show you my little lighting that I got off TikTok. I have to go charge it so that it's ready for my next video. Thank you for watching. Make sure you check out all the links below. I will come back with updates regarding anything that's going on in the news. Make sure you check out the links down below. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, be sure to take care of yourselves and your family. We're going through it, y'all. We're going through it.